Hey everyone, it's Sharon from Sharon's Decor. I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel by showing you this wreath that I created. It's a double clematis flower wreath. My daughter and I did a tutorial 2 weeks ago on Facebook on how this was made, and it got over 10,000 views. We're very proud of that and very appreciative that you all watched it. And now I am happy and excited to bring it to you guys on YouTube. I designed this wreath because I really like the clematis flower. As you can see on my tattoo, it's one of my favorite. And I put one flower on the Unique in the Creek board, and I said, that's not enough, it's not full enough. So then I put 2 on the board. And that's what makes this a unique, one-of-a-kind creation, because it hasn't been done before. Since then, as you'll see on the tutorial, I've done a purple and pink version, and I've also done a double pink and a variegated version as well. All these wreaths you can see on my Instagram, so please follow me at Sharon's Decor, and there will be other wreaths there as well. So I hope that you enjoy the video, like it, let me know what you think, and happy wreathing. Thanks! Hi, I'm Sharon Grady from Sharon's Decor. I am so excited to do my very first video on this flower that I created on the Unique in the Creek board. You told me all to name it, so this is called Sharon's Double Clematis Flower. I was overwhelmed with this weekend with the wonderful comments from you all, and you wanted to learn how to make it, so let's get started. So these are the materials you're going to be needing. This is the large board from Unique in the Creek. You're going to need poly burlap. This is from Michael's. It is 10 inches by 19 feet. This is plenty of material to cover one board. I chose 2 colors. You can do that if you like. I also got green for the leaves. This is from Hobby Lobby. It is 10 inches by 6 yards. You'll need a couple pieces for that. To make the petals, you need an iron, you need parchment paper, you need clips and elastics to pre-make them. For the center, I chose pink yarn. This is from Michael's. You'll need a scissor to cut it. Then you will need zip ties. These are 8 inches long to secure your petals to the board. In the next clip, I will be showing you how I pre-cut the material with my wood burning tool to help prevent fraying. I'm going to be showing you how to cut and heat seal your mesh. For my example, I have the green for the leaves, and you need to cut about 6 to 7 pieces. First thing you will need is your wood burning tool. This is from Walnut Hollow that I ordered from Amazon. It takes about 5 minutes to heat up. The next thing that I just ordered, and it's very good for you to have to cut on, is a glass cutting board. It'll have the measurements already put out there for you. I don't have that, so I have my cutting mat, and this is already 10 inches wide. So you're going to need to cut, again, 6 to 7 pieces at 10 inches long. Please make sure you do your cutting in a well-ventilated area, because we are cutting plastic and the fumes are toxic. So here we go. And the good thing with the poly burlap is that you can follow straight down very easily. So put it down, press down, follow along all the way to the end. And as you can see, it heat seals the edge, and this helps with the fraying. And I just put it over another roll in the meantime. When I'm done with my whole stack, I will place it underneath heavy books, and this just helps flatten the mesh, and it helps the petals lay nicer on your flower board. So now, the first step is make sure you have your iron on, get it ready. You're going to be putting it between cotton or linen on your iron and max. You also need parchment paper. You're just going to need a sheet. So to get started, you're going to be taking your 10 by 10 piece of mesh that you've already pre-cut, put it on the table, curl side up. you're going to be turning it into a diamond shape. There's a factory seal. You want that on your left, always on your left, each piece the same, and then the other side will be on the bottom. Take the bottom corner up to the top, fold it down a little bit, take your clip, and where both points meet, you just want to clip it. Then you're going to be taking the left corner and you're going to fold it over to the right, and you will take your clip and clip that. Move this over a little bit so the points are together, and then that's the beginning. Let's do that again. Take your 10 by 10 piece, curl side up, turn it into a diamond. Make sure that the seal is to your left. Take the bottom, fold it up to the top. You want to push it down. Take your clip, connect it to both so they're closed. Fold your left side over to your right. Fold that down. Take your clip, clip it together, and move the other one, because in our next step, the part that you're going to be ironing is this part right here to create the vein. If you look at it, it's not the open part, it's the part that meets together. So the next step is using your iron to create the vein. And the way you do that is you're going to rip out a piece of parchment paper, and you're going to fold it, and you're going to be putting your piece right here in the crease. So let's start with one piece. Now, again, you don't do the open side, you're going to be using the folded side. So you put the folded side in the crease, fold over the parchment paper, and then you're going to take your iron and you're going to go over the edge of it a few times. Basically, you're melting the plastic together to create the vein. So you just want to hold it a little bit on the edge. And you might notice that it's starting to get a little bit darker. Then you know that it's melting. So maybe probably 5 or 6 times you'll pass over it. Okay, and then we'll take it out. See how it's getting a little bit darker there? And we can take it out. And if you look at it, it's a little bit darker, so you know that that's where the seam is going to be. And we're going to let that cool down. Here's one that I've already done. If you turn it, that's going to be your vein. So let's do that again. So now that you've learned the folding and the sealing with the iron, you're going to be doing 7 to 8 pieces of each color, or about 14 to 16 pieces of one color, and then you're going to let them all cool down, and then we'll get to our next step. Okay, after your pieces cool down, you can take off the clips, unfold it, you will see the seam. Put it the seam side up like that. You could pinch where the seam is, and you're going to be scrunching 3 sides on the top and 3 sides on the bottom. Now, this is where your elastics come in handy. So you're going 1, 2, 3. You can leave this tail to tuck in at the end, and then 1, 2, 3. Lift it up, tuck each little tail underneath, and take your little elastic and go 1, 2, 3 times, and your petal will be all ready to go. Then you can continue to do the rest of them, and it'll be so much easier when you get ready to figure out your placement on the board. Let me show you that step one more time. this is the sealed part that you just did with your iron. Unfold that. It will be, you want to put the vein up. Now, pinch that in the center, and you're going to be scrunching 3 times up on top, 3 times on the bottom. So ready? 1, 2, 3, and this tail will get tucked underneath. Then you're going to go from the bottom, 1, 2, 3. You're going to tuck the tail under, tuck the tail under. I don't like this piece. Okay, then we're going to get our... I'm going to be showing you how to make the leaf. It's a different petal. It's the petal that you make most of your sunflowers with. So you take your 10 by 10 piece of green poly burlap, curl side up. Now turn it into a diamond. With the edge to your left, you will take the top corner and fold it to the bottom corner. And then you will flatten it out, turn it. You want to tuck your tail underneath. Now hold it flat down with your hand so the pieces stay together. And then you're going to be scrunching to the top. Keep holding it down. And then you will tuck this tail underneath. Get your elastic band and secure that. And there is your leaf. Now this is a much easier petal to do, and the pink and the purple petals can be made this way if you would like. It's the center that makes it the true clematis look. I'm going to show you that leaf one more time. 10 by 10 piece of green poly burlap, curl side up. You're going to be turning it into a diamond shape with the edge to your left. You're going to take the top point and you're going to bring it to the bottom point. And now you have a triangle shape. Just turn it. Hold it flat down with your hand so the pieces don't separate. You're going to take the tail and curl it under, because it will be curled under at the end anyway. And then we're going to scrunch. You just take your fingers and work your way up to the top. You can keep moving your hand too to make sure that the pieces stay together. Get to the end and you will tuck this tail underneath. Hold it. Get your elastic. Wrap it around it a couple times. Form it out. And now you have your leaf pre-made and ready to go for your board. So now that you've created all of your petals, the next step is going to be trying to figure out where you want to place them on the board. The unique thing about this flower is that there's no wrong area to put it on the board. It's kind of up to you, and you eyeball what you think looks best. So here's 7 petals that I have, and I'm thinking that I want to do it here. So I just start to place them around. Okay, well, that's looking good. Add another one. All right, so I've got my 7 on here. Then I'll start with my other color and I'll start putting them on, and I'll see what looks good to me. And then I'll fill in with the leaves, empty spaces and things like that. The step after that will be to zip tie into the coordinating holes that are near the petal. Now we're going to be placing our petals into our zip ties. For those of you that are new to the Unique and the Creek flower board, I just want to show you that the holes are in pairs and the zip tie goes in kind of like this, but we're going, and this is where we're going to start. It's numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. These top 2 holes, you'll know that's the top. That's where you're going to be putting your zip tie in for to hang it. So we're going to be starting with this hole. Let me show you with the next hole how to use your zip tie. You take your zip tie, make sure that it's like kind of facing to the right when you go into your hole, you go from the top through, then you're going to find the hole in the back, thread it through, and you're going to clip it until you hear that. Then you know that it's secure. So let's put our petal into the first hole. Okay, so you put it in, you stick it in, and now you're going to be zipping it closed, tight. Take our next petal, and you're going to be putting that in, and you're going to put that zipped until you tighten it. You might, the other tool that I did not show you that you're going to need is a good pair of clippers to clip off the end of your zip ties at the end. Our next petal isn't going to be going into our next pair of holes. I think the flower is going to go good there. So the holes that I'm going to use the shared hole that's already there and here. So now I'll go down, let's move that out of the way, down through this hole, and I'm going to come back up through this hole. Now I'm going to place my petal in. It's a little bit longer, so that's why we have the 8-inch zip ties. That works well, and we're going to zip tie that close. Now, using your pliers helps you tighten your zip ties. Tighten this one. Just clip it off. Clip that off. Clip that off. I'm going to finish the rest of the petals, and I'll be back. Now I've got the purple flower all completed and zip tied in and closed up, and the pieces are clipped off. Now I can start to see where I want my pink flower to go. So I placed a couple already, and then I'm going to just finish that up. I think I want the purple out on this one and the pink tucked in. So that's gonna be basically the placement of the pink flower. So we can start by zip tying the pink in. We'll go to row 2 and we'll zip tie that first one in. You can go through the hole. Nope, that's the long one for hanging. So we're gonna go through the hole, make sure that bigger part is sticking out. Go through the hole. Come back through. Put your petal on and secure it. You'll hear that click. Tighten it up. We'll clip off this at the end. Our next petal we're going to put right next to it. That's going to work. I'll show you that. From the top through, come underneath, find that hole, come back up, and then we're going to zip tie it close. Again, the reason why this is a unique kind of flower is because you don't preload the board, and it's kind of, as you go along, you figure out where you want your petals, and that'll determine how it's going to look at the end. But I'm going to continue with the petals, and then I will show you what the back is looking like. Now I have finished my pink flower, and you take a look at the board and you'll see where you can still see the flower board. So that's where I decided to add my leaves. So just kind of place where you think they would go. Now you'll find your coordinating holes. So you're going to have to come over here and look underneath, and you'll find a paired hole. So we can take our zip tie again through the top, come back up through the bottom. Oh, here we go, we gotta find that hole. Okay, once you find the hole, then you can stick your petal in. Just be careful of your other petal. And zip it till you hear it click. Okay, and now we're gonna go underneath and find another paired hole. Get our zip tie. Zip that in through the top, find the hole coming back up. Put your petal underneath, watch your other petals, click it and zip it. Once I find the hole, there we go. Okay, now I'm gonna clip it, see here it is. Underneath, and then you can fluff your leaf petal out. And I will continue on with the rest of the leaves, zip them in, and come on back. Here we are so far. You have your purple flower, you have your pink flower, then you filled in the gaps with your leaves, 3 on this side and 3 on this side. This is the top, and this is what the back looks like so far. Okay, now we're going to be making the center, our yarn center. I kind of just started it a little bit here. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna take your yarn, find your end, and you're gonna wrap this around your hand 20 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so we will cut that off. Leave that here. Now, the whole point of the center is to cover up your zip ties. Normally you would have a petal that overlaps to hide the zip tie. We don't have that because we just have one layer here. So now we're going to find an area that looks like it will need to have that covered. Let's start it off. We keep it open. We'll take our whole grouping like this, place it in the center, and zip tie. Clip it all the way, pull it tight. Then you can clip off the tail. Okay, and then you're going to be cutting these loops. Just stick your petal through the loops and cut. Stick your petal through the loops and cut. It might take the little edges out. It might take a couple zip ties, I'm not sure. So we're going to continue on. Let's take our next zip tie. And we're going to place that here because that looks like a good spot. Okay. Now again, we're going to take our yarn 20 times around your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Just take it on out. Cut it off. Place it in the center of your zip ties. And click it and zip it. Make it tight. There we go. Now you're not going to be seeing that zip tie at all. And we're going to cut the loops. Now it's starting to spread out some more. And we can continue on. One more. Okay, I'll be back. So the last thing we're going to do is put your hanger in with your zip tie. You're going to go through the back of the board. find the 2 holes on the top. This is row 1. So you go into the hole through the back, out through the front, find your hole, come back through it, pull it. Now you're going to zip it and clip it. And I did it the wrong way. So let's just flip it. There we go, fix that. That big side is on the outside. Then you zip. And that's it. Now you'll be able to hang it. So here is our finished double flower clematis in purple and pink. I hope this instructional video was helpful to you, and thank you so much for watching my very first tutorial. If you try it, I'd love to see pictures, and thank you very much.